They say silence speaks louder than words, but I never knew silence could sound this peaceful, until the day my own son told me I wasn't family anymore. It was 6:42 p.m. when the message came through. Plans changed, Dad. You're not coming on the cruise. It's for family only. I stared at that line until my eyes blurred. Family only. Funny choice of words, considering I paid for that cruise, the hotel, the flights, every single damn cent. For a moment, I thought about calling him, asking why, maybe even begging for a seat at the table I built with my own hands. But that's not who I am anymore. I've learned that silence cuts deeper than any argument ever could. So I put down my phone, turned off the stove, and sat in the dim kitchen, listening to the ticking clock. Each second felt heavier than the last, like time itself was turning against me. There was a time when I would have done anything for him. When his mother left, it was just the two of us. He was 10, small, angry, and too proud to cry. I worked double shifts just to keep us afloat, fixed his bike when the chain snapped, sat in every freezing gym to cheer for him during basketball games. And every night, I'd remind him, you and me, buddy. That's all we need. He used to call me his hero, said I held the world together. I suppose in some way, I did, and maybe that was my biggest mistake. I made it too easy for him to take me for granted. Love shouldn't feel like a full-time job, but mine did. The distance didn't happen overnight. It crept in slowly, quiet, like rust on an old gate. A missed birthday call, a text left unread, excuses that always sounded a little too polished. Sorry, Dad, got busy. Next time, promise. Then came the requests, always about money. Hey Dad, my car broke down. Rent's late again, just until payday. And like a fool, I helped every time. Because that's what love looked like to me. Self-erasure disguised as generosity. But love that costs you your peace isn't love at all. The last straw came that night. Family only. That was the moment I realized I wasn't family anymore. I was just the bank. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I planned. I spent that night at my desk, surrounded by papers, files, deeds, bank accounts, joint cards, every single thread that tied him to me. And by dawn, I had a plan. Clean, precise, irreversible. First, I called the bank. I told them there was fraudulent activity on the accounts and canceled every card that had his name on it. They froze them immediately. Then, the house, the one I built after his mother left, the one he'd been living in rent-free for 2 years. It was still in my name. So, I listed it for a cash sale, below market price. Gone in a week. And then, I disappeared, changed my number, deleted my social media. Moved across state lines. No announcement, no explanation, just silence. A few days later, he left for the cruise with his girlfriend, his mother, and her new husband. The real family, I suppose. While they posted pictures of cocktails, beaches, and sunsets, I was watching the house keys change hands. I watched the sale money land in my account, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel guilt. Just a strange, cold clarity. The kind of peace you only get after you stop trying to fix what's been broken for too long. When he returned, the storm began. The phone started ringing. Dad, my cards aren't working. Why is there a sold sign on the house? Where are you? I didn't answer. Not yet. A week later, there was a knock at my new door. 2 police officers stood outside. Calm, polite. They said my son had filed a complaint. Claimed I'd stolen his inheritance. I showed them the paperwork. The deeds, the accounts, every legal document, every signature, all mine. The younger officer scanned the papers and said quietly, "Seems clear, sir. Sorry for the trouble." And just like that, they left. When the door closed, I sat back down and listened to the silence again. Only this time, it wasn't heavy. It was clean. He found me 3 months later. They always do. He showed up at my porch. Thinner, angrier, wearing that same expensive jacket I bought him years ago. He didn't knock, just shouted through the screen door. "You ruined my life." I looked at him. Really looked. Same eyes that once looked up to me with trust. Now filled with rage, entitlement, blame. I stepped closer, leaned against the doorway, and said, quietly, "No, son, I just stopped financing it." For a second, he froze. That's when he realized this wasn't revenge. It was release. He stood there for a long time, waiting for me to open the door again. But I didn't. I poured myself a drink, sat by the window, and watched him walk away, down the road, past the mailbox, past the house that no longer carried his name. He never came back. Sometimes, late at night, I think about that cruise, the laughter, the family photos, the empty seat that was supposed to be mine. And I smile, not out of bitterness, but understanding. Because while he was out there sailing calm waters, I was burning the bridges behind him. One signature at a time. When the tide turned and he came back, there was nothing left for him to return to. No house, no money, no father waiting at the door. Just the echo of his own words. It's for family only. And for the first time in my life, I finally listened. Family isn't defined by blood. It's defined by loyalty, respect, and love that flows both ways. When you take someone for granted long enough, you teach them how to live without you. Sometimes, walking away isn't cruelty. It's clarity. It's peace. So if you're watching this, and you're holding on to a one-sided love, remember this. It's okay to let go. Silence doesn't always mean weakness. Sometimes it's the sound of healing.